The makeup is eating, babes. She's eating. Oh, and I have braces. I forget to tell y'all that. Jeez, I got fucked up teeth. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tanya, also known as Baby Girl Reddit on Bookstagram, Book Talk, and now on BookTube. And today I am going to do a trope recommendation video. So on my Instagram, I asked you guys to give me tropes that you would like more book recommendations for, and so I'm going to try to give you 1 to 2 rec for each trope, and I'm gonna try not to do popular books. I don't know how well that's gonna go because I didn't prepare myself for this video. Like, I didn't make a list in my notes, which I should have done, but it's fine. We're just going with the vibes. Anyway, so if you're interested in seeing me give you recommendations, then just keep on watching. The first one is Single Dad. Okay, so I just read a single dad romance, which I guess is popular. Read that, didn't I? Yeah, that just came out like last week. Okay, this is not off to a great start. First one I'm gonna do is Runaway Love by Melanie Harlow. This is about a runaway bride, obviously. She leaves her fiance at the altar and has nowhere to go, nowhere to live, because he was funding her entire lifestyle, and she's in this quaint little town, and she sees a posting for a nanny position. As twins, he's a single dad. Their mom is very much alive. She just lives in a different state. Be Sunshine, and it was really good. So I'm gonna do Runaway Love for Single Dad. One is Ignite by Melanie Harlow. Okay, hold on a second. Single dad. Yeah, baby, those are the only two that I got. Ignite by Melanie Harlow and Runaway Love by Melanie Harlow. I said what I said. Okay. Let's do Childhood Friends to Lovers. The first thing that came to mind with Childhood Friends to Lovers is Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. Our next door neighbors, and Oliver got kidnapped. He was missing for about 20 years, and he recently just escaped captivity, and so his next door neighbor is the only person he's like familiar with, and so he kind of latches onto her, and she helps him get reacquainted with like society, and it was so cute. It wasn't dark to me, but I mean, obviously he got kidnapped, but it was just so heartwarming, and it was so funny, like, because Oliver has no like street smarts, and he doesn't understand certain things, like, you know, underlining things, sarcasm and stuff like that, because he's just so direct and straight to the point, and it's just so funny. And it was steamy, and I had a really good time. So that's one of my favorite Childhood Friends to Lovers. Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. And then another Childhood Friends to Lovers that I enjoyed was The Silent Waters by Brittany C. Cherry. This one, I would say check your triggers for. They're not next door neighbors, but I do believe they live close to each other. Something happens to the FMC when she was younger, and now she's selectively mute. Okay? Her and the male lead develop this really intense and cute friendship. Even though she doesn't speak anymore, he makes her playlist to listen to, and it was just really cute. It was also really sad though. So let me give y'all maybe I'll give y'all a cute one. Well, I'm gonna stick with those two.
Why the fuck you lying?
Fake dating. Ooh, one of my favorites. Fake dating. Okay, this is popular.
Be fucking for real.
Everyone needs to read it. So, The Right Move by Liz Tomford. It's book 2 in the Windy City series. He's a basketball player. She's his twin sister's best friend. They were both flight attendants together, and she recently dumped her boyfriend because he was cheating on her, and she has nowhere to live in Chicago. And so Stevie asked him, like, can she stay here? And he's so grumpy and such an asshole, but for her, oh my god, he would move heaven and earth for her. Like, the little bits of acts of service, and just, he caters to literally every single one of her love languages, and it's the cutest fucking, he's the top book boyfriend of the year of all time. Okay, Ryan and motherfucking Shay. He does everything that you would want a man to do. He thinks like 5 steps ahead, and just, oh my god, I could sit here and talk about them all day. But yes, The Right Move by Liz Tomford. There is some fake dating in there because his coach does not like him. And his coach is all about family, and so he asked her to like, can you be my fake girlfriend to go to dinner with them and win over the coach. So that's the fake dating portion of that one. And then The Temptation by Nikki Sloan. This is technically book 5 in the Filthy Rich American series, but you do not have to read the others to read this one because this is about Vance, the youngest son. And he isn't really too much in the first 4 books. I would recommend reading them all in order though, because it was a really good series. A mutual friend of theirs disappeared. We don't know if she's dead or just missing. The person who they think is a person of interest is someone really rich and has a lot of influence in their town, and I think he's potentially going into business with them. And so the female lead is like, well, why don't we fake date so we can go overseas on this business trip so I can dig and find out the information that I need to find out. And he's like, okay, cool, that will work out for me because I need to, you know. It was really spicy. They also have a 90-day no sex rule in this one because he is a playboy, and so she kind of dares him. She's like, I bet you can't go like 90 days without it. So yeah, that one was really good. Surprise pregnancy. Okay, Those Three Little Words by Megan Quinn. This is brother's best friend, a sports romance, but it's not heavily into the sports. She has a one-night stand with this dude. Turns out is her brother's best friend. And he's not a loser, so he says that he wants to take care of her and the baby, and he suggests that she move in. This was a really good time. This book is thick though. I think it was like 400 to 500 pages, but I really heavily related to the female main character with just the way that she was an overthinker and the way she expresses her feelings. Our male lead is so sweet. He's such a sweetheart. But the difference in this book is they tried to make it work as a family, but they didn't try to be in a relationship together because he still is afraid of her brother. So there's a portion in the book where like her pregnancy hormones are getting to her, and so she's like trying to tempt him into having sex with her again. That one was really good. Sports. I read a lot of sports romance. Actually, I got a lot. So let me see what I'm gonna give y'all. Give y'all a different dynamic. So Iced Out by C.E. Ritchie, whatever you want to call her. She answers to both. This is MM, this is Enemies to Lovers, and this is a hockey romance since it's all the buzz right now. This one was really good, you guys. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was so hot. The tension was there. I love the background on both of the male characters. Some people said that they couldn't tell the difference between them with CE's writing, which I don't believe that I agree with that. And we could do Quarterback Sneak by Candy Steiner. This is the 3rd book in the Red Zone Rival series, and this is Force Proximity because they're neighbors. He's also the coach's daughter, and he's QB1. She's also a pole dancer. He is also a gardener on the side, and they both have dealt with a lot of loss and grief in their life, and so they kind of connect that way. On the outside they kind of look like they have everything together, but little does everyone know that playing sports and gardening and dancing on the pole and, you know, being a physical therapist are what helps them cope with the things that, you know, they've dealt with as far as loss and grief. So that's 2. So Can't Catch Me, which is book 1 in the Houston Skyhawk series. This is by Alexandra Warren. It's Friends to Lovers, and it's a black romance. This one was really good. I cannot remember the exact plot, but I think this also had second chance romance in it too. I just remember that it was good and it was spicy, so that's enough for me to recommend it to y'all. Age Gap Mafia. Ooh, girly pop. Okay, first one I can think of is Mafia Mistress and Mafia Darling. She is arranged to be married to Giulio, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. And so his father goes to go get her from Canada or someplace and brings her back there. Turns out his son is gay. And the father kind of decides that he wants her for himself. And so... Damn! Yeah. He ends up marrying her instead of letting his son marry her. And it's enemies to lovers, forced proximity, arranged marriage, mafia, and there is BDSM and lots of praise, kinks, a lot of degradation. So if that's not your thing, then I would steer clear of that one. So that's one mafia and age gap. Another mafia age gap would be Virtuous Lies by Hailey Jenner. That is also arranged marriage and an age gap and forced proximity and enemies to lovers, I think I would say, because she didn't want to marry him. It was really good. If you've been on my Goodreads, then you know the first line in my review is that he, you know, and then he smeared her juices on his whiskey glass and then drank it. Oh, Bad Girl Good Boy. Baby, I don't know if I got that. I mean, I guess we could say the Mindfuck series by St. Abby. She's a serial killer and he's the cop that's hunting her. So I mean, you can't get more good than that. He's a police officer. He has to be good. I think that's the only one I got, babes. Because all my badass heroines are with psychotic men. So yeah, that's the only one I got for that one. Spicy novellas. Oh baby. Okay, first one, Truth or Dare by Daniel Allen. This is friends to lovers. Like, they were friends in college and one of their college friends is getting married and now they're out on a vacation together, and a night of Truth or Dare while they're on like a yacht, she gets dared to give him a lap dance and then things go from there. Oh my god, this was so spicy. So Truth or Dare by Daniel Allen. And then next one I have is For His Pleasure by Kimberly Brown. You said you wanted spice, baby. This one is about a male virgin, and this is so hot. The female lead in this, oh my god, she takes him to a dungeon or a sex club, and this one is so good. This is just pure smut. It was so good. And that's two. And then another one is The Stranger in Seat 8B by Nikki Castle. I don't even really remember what their occupation was or what they were doing, but they were on a plane ride together and I believe they had a layover in the same city. I don't remember, but I do remember that it's hot. So there's that. Let me give you some FF or sapphic. You never know. Friendly Neighbor by Honey Chanel. She writes a bunch of little sapphic novellas. Friendly Neighbor is book one in that Lesbian Next Door series. And then another novella that I like that it's age gap, it's dad's best friend long distance. They meet online and she doesn't know that it's her dad's best friend until she flies out to go see him. Can I Come Over by Whitney G. This one was so cute and it was so hot. Period. Captor Captive, Ivan by Sophie Lark. She is an assassin who was sent to kill him and then he captures her. And while she's downstairs in his basement, she basically wears him down and then they end up together, obviously. And then another Captor Captive is Savage Hearts. No, I'm lying. You know what? I'm going to give you Carnal Urges by J.T. 𝐒𝐤𝐤. This is book 2 in her Queens and Monsters series, and it's my favorite Mafia book of all time. I love freaking Declan and Sloan down bad. The both of them are my favorite main characters of all time, okay? Sloan is like a badass bitch. She's gotten her in so many different situations and she prevails every single time. She always has men, you know, like crawling at her feet. And Declan, oh my god, he is so freaking grumpy, but he's so down bad for her. And he was supposed to be picking her up to take her to his boss, but then the boss got killed and then he became the head of the outfit mafia, whatever. So he keeps her with him, and in that time she like wins over all of his men and she like wears him down, and so fucking good. Enemies to Lovers. The first Enemies to Lovers I ever read, which isn't talked about a lot, is This Is War by Kennedy Fox. This is brother's best friend, Forks proximity, a little bit of age gap. Grew up together, and she thought they had something when they were younger, and then he started picking on her out of nowhere, and the older she's gotten, the more she's hated him, and now they kind of have like a bickering relationship. And the brother goes away for the summer, and she's off for the summer, so he offers for her to stay in the loft, and she didn't know he would be there. So the forced proximity and the angst in this one, like they literally hated each other. This was so good. It's a duet. So this is War by Kennedy Fox. That's one, Enemies to Lovers. And then The Sinners Condemned by Soam Sketcher. This is book 2 in the Sinners Anonymous series. And this is about Penny and Rafe. This is also a duet. They get 2 books. And she's like a little thief, and he is rich, and he's a billionaire, and everyone loves him, and she gets under his skin, okay? And their banter and the angst and the tension in their book was so good. So good. There was even a scene where he can't sleep at night, so every night he goes and picks her up and drives her around the city. And one night she's like giving him a lap dance in the car, and she like charged him. She's like, it's gonna charge you this much. So he gave her the cash, and then he's like, you know, keep going. And he didn't have any more cash, so he takes out his debit card and plucks it in her boob, and he was like, 4388, no limit. And I was like,
I hear something purring. Wait,
please.
That's my pussy.
That was so good. Another Enemies to Lovers is The Frat Boy by Nikki Sloan. These two get into a fight during Greek week, and they both get kicked out of their sorority, so they have nowhere to live. And the female lead answers an ad to be a porn star. And when she shows up to the audition, lo and behold,
don't know that's you.
Colin she hates that has to audition with her. That audition was so hot. So hot. There's a scene in the audition where she's like fighting against him because she doesn't want him to get the satisfaction that he's making her come. So she tries to, you know, like, but then he slaps her hand away and holds it, and he was like, this is me inside of you, this is me who's doing this. And I was like, okay, yeah, it is. So that's another Enemies to Lovers. Amnesia Trope. Okay, Forget Me Not by QB Tyler is one of my favorite books of all time. Bennett cheated on his wife, Olivia, and they're in the middle of getting a divorce, and he gets into a car accident and loses his memory. And because technically they're not divorced, she has to take care of him. So she moves him back into their space, and it's so good watching them fall in love. Even though he cheated on her, which I do not, you know, like, that's not my thing. I was down bad for him. Like, Bennett is one of my favorite male leads ever. Like, he just did so right by her. Like, and even though he was the one at a disadvantage without his memory, he was like he still wore the pants, and he still was like, even though I don't remember this, I know that I love you, and I know that it's gonna work out. And I was just like, oof. So that's Amnesia Trope. Okay, Cowboy Rex. The Bishop Brothers series by Kennedy Fox. It's 4 books: Enemies to Lovers, Friends to Lovers, One Night Stand, and then Childhood Friends to Lovers. I loved all 4 of those. And then, who's another cowboy that I like? Let me think. 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 Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? Okay, next trope is Marriage in Trouble or Marriage Reconciliation. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Josiah and Yasmin have been divorced for about 2 years now after they lost a child, and they still have business together. They're still in each other's lives, and Yasmin starts to regret her decision, and she basically tries to win him back, and they go through a lot of healing. She goes through a lot of healing because she did therapy, and now Josiah is kind of in the position where he wants to get therapy because his son is struggling. And it was just so good and so well written, and I loved every minute of it. Another marriage reconciliation is For Lucy by Jewel E. Ann. They also deal with child loss. This one hurt, and I was mad at the FMC at the end because I felt like he forgave her too quickly. But this book was written really, really well, and I really enjoyed it. So that one. And then someone said just age gap. Okay. Friends to lovers. Okay. A good, like, meet cute, just friends to lovers, not childhood friends to lovers that I read recently. All I've Wanted, All I've Needed by Ive Wanted. This one was really cute. Our female main character is a black woman who just got out of a really long relationship. I believe they were high school sweethearts, and she moves to a new place, and down the street from her uncle's coffee shop is a tattoo shop, and the tattoo artist comes in for coffee, and that's how they meet one day. No, I'm lying. She teaches yoga in this new city, and one of her students becomes her friend, and her friend's brother is the tattoo guy from down the street, and he's so grumpy. She's not really sunshine. Like, she gives him back the shit, you know, like he's handing out to her. And so they, like, generically and just genuinely build a friendship. Like, they just start seeing each other every day because she's delivering his coffee, and he starts spending the night at her place, and she starts spending the night at his place, and they just really get along, and they really just became friends. And then things started to change between them, and it was so well done. He's also another male lead that pays attention to all of her love languages, acts of service, words of affirmation, gift giving, and it was just so fucking good. And then I really should have planned this video out better. No, that's all I got. Someone said fantasy, which, if you follow me on Instagram right now, you know that I am in my fantasy era, and I just got done reading the book by Carissa Broadbent, The Crowns of Nyareadit, The Serpent and the Wings of the Night is book 1, and then The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King is book 2. I read both of those, and oh my god, the best ride of my entire life. That duet, I can't even put into words yet. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And then I also read Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by her. So that's fantasy. I'm new to fantasy, so I'm probably not the best person to ask for recommendations, because I'm about to put up a story on Instagram asking for fantasy recommendations with vampires at that. Street racing recommendations? I don't know that I have any of those. The only book that I've ever read that I can think of with, like, street racing or, like, driving from the police is Savage Lover by Savage Lover by Sophie Lark. They're both into cars, and I do remember there being a sex scene in the car, and they did, like, he did a race, I think. That's all I got. I'm sorry. Stepbrother. For the Fans by Nyla K. They are stepbrothers, and their parents are recently broke, and they're in college, and they need to make money, so they make an OnlyFans together. Yeah. Yeah, I reread that, so that'll tell you anything you need to know. Eyes on Me by Sarah Kate. Stepbrother. She is a sex worker, a cam girl, and one night he is bored and is scrolling, and he finds her and recognizes her and then confronts her about it while they're away on vacation with the family. And that was really hot. Forbidden. Coach Me by Shanora Williams is coach, and she's a track star. She runs. She's a black female lead, and he is Hispanic. This book was really good. Like, the forbidden aspect of it was really good, and she's also dealing with a bit of racism with a girl on the team, which I think was handled so well, and I really enjoyed it. It was very angsty, tension-filled, spicy, all that good stuff. I said workplace romance. Business Casual by Daniel Allen. This is kind of a meet cute situation. Our female lead is interviewing for a new job, and on the way up in the elevator she meets a guy, and when she gets upstairs it turns out him and his dad own the company, and so they kind of tell each other that they're not going to date while she's on this contract with them. That doesn't happen. 3 Simple Rules by Nikki Sloan. Our female lead Evie recently made an error at work, and they're down like 15 grand or 12 grand or something, and her friend Peyton is a sex worker at a blind folk club, and so she goes there to work for one night, and her boss comes in and pays for the one night while she's blindfolded to a table. So yeah, workplace. I think that is it for this video. I really hope you found a new read here. If not, I am sorry. Maybe reread one of these. I will try to be better organized this time. I thought going with things that came to my head would be helpful, but in the beginning I did say I didn't want to give you guys all like popular books, but I mean, if they're popular and I'm recommending it, then that means that they're actually good. So, and I keep playing with my hair, I'm sorry. If you made this far in this video, then comment the heart emoji. Don't forget to like this video and comment something down below. And I will have more videos coming up. If you guys have a particular video idea that you would like to see from me, then leave it down in the comments below and I will get to it. Thank you so much for watching, and bye. What am I looking for again? Oh shit. Oh Lord. Found it. Okay. Okay. We're doing good. My spidey senses are tingling, that it is.